Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Nas, and today is a new episode of Different Spectrums podcast. Today, we are going to do just a quick what's up intro and just a talk and chat now that I'm back from vacation. So, all of you that tune into the podcast every week, I haven't put any pods out for 2 weeks. I got back from vacation extremely exhausted. And then last week, I was just catching up with work and clients. And now you can see this week's episode, quick one, maybe. We'll see what happens. And then we're going to start pumping out more videos. I'm going to shoot them actually tonight. I'm actually going to pump out a real episode that'll probably release this weekend. So 2 episodes this week. For all of you, while I was gone on vacation, I did release 3 episodes. It looks like some of those had some copyright strikes. I got them taken care of. And so all of them are back up and posted. So if you want to, go check out the Hoppers, which we did a pod on. Of course, there was Karate Kid. We did Elio. I think that was it. So make sure you go back and check those out. I think they're fantastic. Oh, sorry. And we did, God damn it, the Iron Claw. A lot of those were really good, really emotional, really awesome podcasts. Some of them about autism, ADHD, trauma, grief, men, emotions, and tons of different things. Some pretty tough clips in the Iron Claw because we're dealing a lot with suicidality. So go back and check those out. They're magnificent pods. I know they didn't get a lot of reviews the first 2 weeks because they got shut down for some reason. Like a week after I posted it, it got like copyright striked, and then I got it cleared, so everything's all set. Go check those out. And today, we're going to get into some other things. As I gotten back from vacation, I do want to share a lot of vacation updates and like really cool stuff that we did and went on. I am going to get a catalog of photos and some videos of the trip that we went. We did check out 10 national parks. We started in Indiana, and then we went all the way to California and then all the way back. So 10 different parks, got some really cool photos. I wanted to show this to folks just to give them like some inspiration, maybe see some cool stuff, maybe get them some ideas, and just really get them outdoors and outside of social media, outside of pods, outside of movies, and just go be in nature and really enjoy that. Also, for those of you that are worried about the park fees, you do qualify for a park pass free for the national parks if you have ADHD, even anxiety, and specifically autism. So those do qualify you for the disability pass. So talk to your therapist, talk to your medical providers, and if they're cool with it, they write just a very quick letter. You submit it to the National Park Service, and then you get a lifetime pass. So instead of paying $80 a year, you can save that money and then get the pass. So it's pretty cool. So for those of you that are looking for those services or you didn't know that those were a thing and you want to go check out some parks with your family, that's something that you can do and then advocate for. Also, a really cool thing that just got announced in the state of Indiana, I got the email today, saying that anyone that has level 2 or level 3 autism does qualify for a parking disability pass, the parking permit. So you can get qualified for disability if your child or loved one or you yourself as level 2 or level 3, and that way can help you out. And as we know, folks that have children, loved ones, whatever, that are moderate or severe support needs or functioning, right, then they can get those easier access of parking, getting things out timely. It's just less of a hassle. I think that's a really cool thing for our population. So those of you that live in Indiana, or if you live in other states, it's something that you might qualify for if it's part of the laws. And then I think it's a really cool thing to think about. I figured I'd just bring it up today. Really cool. The vacation was magnificent. We got to check out so many cool parks, so many different things. We started in, obviously, Indiana, and I flew my niece in from San Antonio. We hung out here for a week. I think I left like 3 or 4 days late for vacation because I was just so busy with clients, paperwork, podcast stuff. Then we took off, went to Kansas City, saw my best friend, and hung out with the kids for a day. And then we went to the National Sand Dunes Park. So I'll get some photos of that. We didn't take a ton at the sand dunes. So the Colorado National Dunes, that was fantastic. They're massive. It's the biggest dunes in America. And so, right, it's just this huge, like, mountains of sand that are just randomly just there. So that's pretty cool. And I think it was funny as we were climbing, getting completely exhausted in the park. We actually tent camped for like 70% of the trip. The water that we use in the backpacks with like I don't know what the hell they're called, the hydration packs, it used like a magnetic clip for like your shoulders. And 3 weeks during the trip, you would still find the metallic pieces from the sand in the metal magnets and like all over the car. It was crazy. Like, I don't know what that is or what metal or whatever the fuck is in the sand, but it's there. Those granules are everywhere. That was really cool. Then next we went to the Mesa Verde National Park. And then that is pretty much, you're seeing these houses that are built into the canyon walls or the mountain walls, right? You see they call it these palaces, but there's other things that are built into the walls. Plus there's all this other forestry and natural habitats that were occupied for, I feel like I'm going to say this wrong, but I feel like 400 years. It was like 400 years of occupation that they were there. And then because of different droughts and weather and the trade routes, migration routes, and then of course, you know, the colonizers, then that changed a lot of things. And then they left the land. And so you see like these beautiful structures that have been, you know, kind of maintained. And you see how small they are and like the doors, how tiny they are, and all the infrastructure is actually really sick. It's really cool. Then we kept pushing, and I think we got to Death Valley after that. Yes. So Death Valley is in Nevada. All right. I don't know why I'm yelling. We went to that, and that is actually the hottest place in America. They call it Death Valley because it is the lowest place in America. So it's a couple, like 200 feet below sea level. So it's extremely hot. And it was so hot that it's recommended, and there's signs everywhere that you can't go outside for more than like 10 minutes at a time. So I'm sure people do push that. We did push that, and it was like 119 degrees, but when the sun goes down, it felt better. But it was still 119 degrees. So I don't know how to explain it. But it was so hot that you felt like you were breathing in fire. So some really cool pics that we got on there. I'll try to post some of those. Like driving in the basin, because there's the basin, which is the lowest point, and you can drive through the basin. So there's a road that takes you along the basin, but then you can also cut across it. And you just see like the salt, right? You see all these structures of salt throughout it. And then eventually you get to a part where there's like water, but it's just like pure salt. That's in it. So it's not drinkable. And it very much is a desert. It's just a desert everywhere. And it is so miserably fucking hot. But you get to see all the different rock formations, the colors, like it was gorgeous. I think we only spent like 2 days there. Because it's too hot to really do any hiking. Even if you left early in the morning, it was still too definitely hot. So then we kept it pushing. I think it was like a 4 or 5 hour drive to Sequoia and Kings Canyon, which is in California. So that is all those big trees. So those big, giant, huge trees that you see, yeah, those things are massive. So those are going to be, I don't even know how to like even show you or tell you. Obviously, some of you see the pictures. I'll do my best to link it in the YouTube episode and the podcast episode in the content section. But also I'll put it in the link tree so that people just click on the link tree, and then you can see that on Instagram, social media, and all that. And then you can just click on that and look at the trips as well too. I'll do my best to curate that by the morning. So you go into Sequoia, and it's got these trees, and you'll see like you just go on these walks everywhere, like throughout the park. And it's just massive, massive things. You're talking like, if you were to fit the circumference of the tree, so right, the entire base of the tree, you're talking maybe like 100 people to fit it inside the entire thing, maybe more. And I think it said like 50 people arm to arm all the way around the tree it would take. It is magnificent. And then you just look straight up and you're just in awe. I think one of the big ones, I think the second biggest one in the world is, yeah, biggest by volume, is the General Sherman tree. And there was another one. I forgot what that one was called right now. It's blanking me, like the actual biggest one. And you see these things and it's just magnificent. And so that was a couple days in the park as well too. We had to move campsites, I think twice in that park. Turns out there's no showers in the parks in California, except for there's like 1 or 2 on way different, like an hour-long trip out of the park to the entries points of the parks. Take a shower. I didn't know that. So we smell like straight up dog shit in that tent, hiking for 3 days in the park. And that was, I mean, that was amazing. That was my favorite park was Sequoia and Kings Canyon. So they're both part one and the same. They're different parks, but they're together. Uh, and then you drive to the other part. So I think there's 3 different places that you wanted to go see there. And so you go and see those different things on different days. And it always took us an hour to get to those places. And then, of course, it takes you an hour back. So you're getting back super late at night. I think we were getting back every night by like, 10 o'clock at night. And then you sleep and then you're waking up at, 7 o'clock because it starts to get hot. And then you kind of start the day. You hit the road by, 8:39 and you're hiking and doing stuff. It was fantastic. I'm pretty sure that's also where, I'm pretty sure that was one night. It is. That was one night where I think it was 7 o'clock. And then we got entry into this place into the park where it's like this huge rock formation. And that's where you'll just see us and my brother and my niece just walking all the way up to the rock and then seeing all these panoramic views on top of this boulder that's just on top of a mountain. And that was gorgeous. So we watched the sunsets there. I'll try to show you that. That was probably one of the coolest things, how high we were. And then how you have to walk like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stairs to get to the peak. It was extremely exhausting. And my brother was kind of crashing out. I'll do my best to put the videos in there and like redact like my voice and our voices just so you can see the visuals. That was sick as fuck. I highly recommend going to see that part for like everyone. Like that would be a bucket list thing for everyone to see 100%. I think that goes probably my favorite park so far. And you're like, oh, it's just trees. I'm like, that shit was crazy. It was amazing and it was beautiful and it was calm. I would say it'd be that one. Like Glacier then next, then maybe Yosemite next, maybe Yosemite then Glacier. People love Yellowstone. I think I got kind of sick of just seeing the water and smelling it and fucking basins there. I wasn't the biggest fan. It was still cool as shit. The bison were cool as hell. If any of you saw the thing on Instagram or YouTube or the news, that bison attacked that older guy, that was terrible. That was scary. Very scary. Then we kept it pushing, saw Yosemite. We did a ton of hikes in there. Different waterfalls, climbing rocks and structures, and me hiking up over like rocks with my niece and kind of being super sketchy things that we were doing, but we were making it up there. It was pretty cool. Then we did hike up Vernal Falls that leads up to Nevada Falls that leads up to the rope thing. I forgot what the hell, the Golden Dome or the Dome, Half Dome. It leads up to Half Dome. There it is. So we only made it like the 1,000 feet up. It was like multiple days in the park. I think this was the last day, the 3rd day. So the next day we were leaving and we had a ton of stuff to do throughout the park. Plus I fucked up all the camping stuff and I left it at our campsite because I thought we were supposed to be there for 3 days. Turns out we were only supposed to be there for 2 days. And so someone actually came to take the spot. They called me. I can't believe I had cell service on top of this other mountain. We had to drive an hour all the way there, then drive all the way back. By the time we got to do this hike, I think it was like 7 o'clock. I think we started by 7:15, and then we were back down to the car by like 7:20, 7:30, or sorry, 10:20, 10:30. So it was close to 3 hours, right around 3 hours. That was exhausting. That was the hardest hike I'd done in a long time, but it was also the quickest I've done that many feet. And you see the waterfall and it's gorgeous. The only thing is it was pitch fucking black. So I'm also going to try to put that in there for everyone. So it's me holding this massive flashlight with the GoPro. You're going to see videos of me with the GoPro on my chest. And we're just walking down these stairs that are soaking wet from the waterfall mist. And there's no railing for a lot of it. And I fell twice, terrified. And my niece fell once. And you're just going to see the visual of just us walking down the mountain. All you're going to see is her feet, her legs. So that was terrifying, but it was fantastic that we made it up there. It just kind of sucked that we didn't get to stay up there longer. And then we got to see the Emerald Pool, but we didn't go up to Nevada Falls. Obviously, it was too late at night, so we continued our way down. And it was kind of tragic because we heard like, I think we did it maybe like 23rd, and someone actually died because they jumped into the waterfall. And they died, I think, on the 20th. Young boy plummeted, sadly, to his death. And then a woman tried to jump in and save him, a lifeguard just a random woman that happened to be a lifeguard, and then she almost died, and then someone actually saved her by like throwing like a stick in there to get her. So it was terrifying. For all of you that go to these national parks, please obey by the rules. Don't walk on the grass. If it says don't walk on the grass, don't touch the things, don't go on the structures. Be safe. Majority of the deaths in Yosemite are drownings. Majority of the deaths in the other park are people going off route and then falling. Be safe. The picture, what you're trying to take, is probably not worth it. So just don't be, I don't know what he did. Be a dumbass. Don't risk your life for a photo that's probably not going to be that fucking cool anyways. And you're doing it just for like likes and all that stuff. Just take it in. Take the beauty in. You don't need to put everything on social media. Do not risk your life for some likes about people that don't even give a fuck about you, my guy. Enjoy the parks. So then, again, that was extremely cool. Yosemite. Then we kept it pushing. Then we got to the Great Basin. I think I missed a park in there. We got to the Great Basin. Oh, we went to Capitol Reef. I forgot. We did go to Capitol Reef before Death Valley. Capitol Reef was sick. We did some really awesome stargazing there, kind of desert vibes. There's not a real visitor center there, but there is. Really cool park inside. You get to pick pears, apricots. You can pick some apricots. There's canyons in there. There's mountains in there. There's this Fruta Park, which is where all the fruit trees are. And there's like just a lot of history there. We got to eat these homemade pies and homemade ice cream that were fan-fucking-tastic. We did some ranger talks as well too, but that was probably the best stargazing that we got to do. It was so dark. And I kid you not, it was so dark that you could not see in front of you. If you were sitting down, you could not see the floor. You couldn't see anything. I could not see my niece next to me. And then the coming days and weeks, the moon was out, and then it was so bright. The moon was so fucking bright. But that day, you couldn't see anything. It was fantastic. It was crazy. We tried to use the telescope in Capitol Reef that I bought for $100, and that thing was like terrible. Not only could you not see anything, it was hard to set up. It's weird, like on this rock formation. It was crazy. And we're laying on this big ass rock. Forgot what it was called. It's like a certain sun view point, I think it was called. Yeah. And we're just like laying on the rock, and I forgot to bring the towels, and we're just covered in like this red rock dust. It was hilarious. So that was sick. I highly recommend that park. That was cool. A lot of people say that's actually their favorite park because it has a best of like a lot of different worlds, right? You get some really cool mountain views, some like cool waterfalls, rivers, the fruit, the homemade stuff, kind of like the originations of it. There's some, what's that thing called? In Zion, it's like the Narrows. So they have like those narrows where there's these big ass walls, right? Mountains that are straight up, and then they like come in, and then you walk between those. So that's really what it's known for. Is like, I think it's like 3 or 4 very well-known narrows. Well, what Zion is like known for is walking through the narrows. Of course, there's water in those. There used to be water in the ones in Capitol Reef, right? Because of the drought. And just because of the way it's structured and the erosion, there's no water in there now, but it does flood massively. And so there's a lot of warning signs about like horrific graphic flooding. So that was sick. Then you go to the Great Basin. That was in Nevada. Death Valley actually was California. I misspoke. And then the Capitol Reef was in Utah between like Zion and Moab. So we got to the Great Basin. I'm trying to remember actually what that was. I think it was supposed to be well known for the cave, but we didn't get to go into the cave because it was closed because they were doing a bunch of infrastructure like remodeling or just cleaning up things and making it like safer. And I think that's where we stayed in like this crazy town. I think it was called Alta. Something like that. And it wasn't a crazy town. It was a small town, but it was like no hotels anywhere. There's hotels everywhere, motels everywhere, but there was no vacancy. And there was no vacancy because the entire place was saturated with firefighters. And it was saturated with firefighters because Utah was having an all-time record for fires throughout the entire state. And so that was like the central base for everyone to like go out and drive 30, 40, 20 minutes to an hour to like put out all these crazy fires. And then you Google it and it's like wild. The park itself was pretty dope. We did some stargazing. I think that is where we did a 6-hour hike. That was the longest hike I've ever done. We were thoroughly exhausted. Feet hurt. My neck hurt from looking down the entire time. People are like, oh, I love that you go hiking, Dr. Nas. You can see so much cool stuff. I bet you're so cool on that hike. I'm like, bitch, all I see is the dirt. Like, you don't get to see much, which is a joke. But we started the hike and then we got to see these 2 lakes that are in the middle of these mountains, and like the snow's like right there. So that's how high up altitude you are. You're like 10,000 feet in the air at altitude. It's harder to breathe. You're getting tired. Very cold. Like, it was very cold, and it was like gonna thunderstorm, but we had just missed it, so it only sprinkled. And then there's this lake. I'll try to show some pictures of the video of the lake. My dad laughed because you can see me smashing this orange and like inhaling it. I'm so hungry. Then there's another beautiful lake that you see on that hike. We keep it pushing and we go see some of the oldest trees in the world. So we see these trees that are 100 years old, 2,000 years old, 3,000 years old, which is like insane. And they only grow up at this extremely high altitude. And I don't know how to explain the trees. So you'll see some photos. They're just the weirdest woven pencil-like, almost demonic things that look like they've been burned. And it's crazy. It's crazy that they live in like this petrified area. There's not much life up there other than like these trees, and they're just in the middle of rocks and boulders. It's crazy to see how old they are and how twisted their structure is. Fantastic. And then, of course, we had to walk all the way back down. So that took a very long time to walk all the way back down. And then we drove to camp, and then we paused. We were exhausted. We didn't have anything else to do. So then we sat in the car, and then we watched Spider Noir, the new Spider-Man series, which I'm going to do pod on. And that was fantastic. We watched it in black and white. We just sat in the car, and I think we watched like the last 3 episodes. Yeah, the last 3 episodes at least. And then we did some stargazing because that's a really good spot to do stargazing. I think it was called, I'm dyslexic and fucking stupid. So it wasn't called Mother Overlook. I think it was called Mather. Might have been Mather Overlook. So that was one of the best points in the park to like see things, check it out, the scenery. So we sat there until probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that was awesome. But again, the moon was so bright that you could see like everything. So it dulled out some of the abilities to see the stars. As we went to the next park, so this was one of the last ones, we went to, what is she called? The Black Canyon. So that is in Colorado, in the northwestern part of Colorado. And we were going to go there last year after we went to the Rocky Mountains, but it was on fire. So there was no access to it at all because the entire rim was like on fire, and you're like, it's so sad. And as we were driving like through that and parts, kind of close to the parts of like the Grand Canyon last year, you smelled the smoke. You smelled the smoke. It was everywhere. Actually, when we were staying there back in Colorado, we were actually kind of scared because the entire sunlight and atmosphere was like smoky and hazy. And then you could smell the burning sensation when the wind was picked up. And then you saw the ash just pouring from the sky, right? Just pouring from the sky, covering the cars. And that was wild. I never experienced that before. So that was specifically happening for the massive fires in Utah. And then some of the fires, on the western part of Colorado, which were moving throughout Colorado. And then as we left, where we went in Capitol Reef was completely covered in smoke to where it was so hazardous. People had to cover their mouths or not go into the park. That's how hazardous it was in Utah. Crazy. Like the rivers that we saw that were completely dried, the reservoirs that we saw that were completely dried, and you can see where the water used to be and how it's like at these all-time lows. It's kind of wild, my guy. It is actually kind of scary. And the droughts and like the temperature changes. But then we get to the Black Canyon, and then you see all the burning of like all the wildlife. And the Black Canyon is kind of like the Grand Canyon, right? On a smaller base, smaller version. But the rocks themselves, like the slits all the way straight down, are some of they said some of the flattest rocks, but the highest, flattest rocks, and some of the best things for actual rock climbing. so scaffolding all the way up. That was pretty sick. There was one thing called the I think it was like graffiti wall, or it was called the painted wall. And right, obviously the canyon itself, the walls, as you're looking into it, they do have a very dark black look to it, texture of the rocks. Where you go to the Grand Canyon, it's a different like color, and you go into Utah and it's that reddish, dry, yellowish color. And you see that, but then there's like these vibrant lightning strikes, thick, massive lightning like rods going through it, and it looks like just veins that are pumping through the mountain or the bluff, right? The thing all the way down the canyon walls. And turns out that was the lava that shot up from the bottom of the core of the earth. So right, all you see is the sedimentary rock that fortified from the lava, which is like crazy to think about. We just did some small hikes in there, right? We were so pooped. Also, it was pretty hot, and I didn't want to push it, so we slept at hotels those 2 nights, and the 2 nights at the Great Basin. I also like kind of looks like I tore my tent, so I got to get a new tent, or I have to get it patched. So we did that, and then we went on a small hike at the very end. I was like, this will be easy. This will be like, it's only like not too far, like a couple yards out, 100 yards, 250 yards. That's what all the hikes were that day. There's just overlooks, and I'll put some pictures of the overlooks. This fucking hike ended up taking like 2 hours. And it was blazing hot, and we didn't bring our water with us, and I was literally crashing the fuck out. And my brother, as you know, level 2 autistic, and so he was doing the hike with us, and he did fine for all the hikes, but like we're all tired. And we had eaten not too long ago, but I saw him pushing himself pretty hard at one point, and I was so proud of him watching him climb the stairs. He doesn't do good with stairs in the depth perception, and he just fucking yaks everywhere. Like, yeah, I mean, this is like not a stomach yak. This is like I'm exhausted and I'm like just got done running sprints, and you vomit everywhere. It's crazy. We finished the hike. That was it. I think after that, we went grocery shopping the day before. So I think after that, we just went back to the hotel, and then we got some really good ass ice cream after we took some showers, and we went and ate that late at night. It was fantastic. I forgot what the store was called. I forgot what it was called, but it was fucking awesome. This mom and pop, like family owned spot ice cream, in the town right next to the Black Canyon. I also forgot what that was called. So that was fantastic. There was a couple different places that we eat pretty cheap on this, right? Because you're spending so much money doing the trip. So we eat a lot of sandwiches, fruit, pre-made salads, pre-made sandwiches from like stores, or we're making our own sandwiches. We went out to eat a couple times in the parks. I think we went to, a couple fast food places, obviously. But we eat pretty inexpensive when we're doing that. We're trying to use it for all like the cool shit that we're doing. And then I went, obviously back to Kansas to see my best friend. Stayed there for a couple days, canceled a lot of my appointments. I think I was supposed to be home Monday night, Tuesday night. And then I didn't get home until I think Wednesday night. I think I was supposed to be home Monday. I got home Wednesday. So it was 3 weeks on the road. I got home Wednesday night. And before we got home on Wednesday night, we went to St. Louis, and we saw that national park, which is the smallest one in America. And it is the second or third newest one. I think the third newest one was the Arch that was man-made in 1960. Between 1960 and 1965 was completed. That thing was cool as fuck. I highly recommend like going in it, checking out the museum. You don't have to check out the movie, the documentary, but like we were so tired from doing shit, I was like, fuck it. So I think we spent like 2.5, 3 hours there. 2.5, 3 hours. It wasn't very long. So we saw a documentary. We did the cool little VR thing, looked through the museum quickly, and then you go all the way to the top. So you get in these little tiny fucking elevators. That it's also like a merry-go-round, not a merry-go-round. Those fucking wheels, Ferris wheels, like a Ferris wheel type vibe. But you're locked in like this little tiny cage that I barely fit in. And then my brother and niece, that was it. You're like in this little bubble. And then it just takes you all the way up inside the arch. This is built inside the arch where the stairwell is. And then you go up. I think you only get to spend 5 minutes at the top. Maybe it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes at the top, and then you have to come back down. I think it was a 4-minute up ride, 3-minute down, 10 minutes at the top. That's pretty cool. Left my keys in the theater. Freaked the fuck out. ran all the way back, blistering hot, got my keys, came back. The guy's like, the park ranger, what do you need, sir? And I was like, I left my keys. He was like, a Kia? I was like, yeah. He's got a raccoon on it. I was like, he's not a raccoon. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, don't worry about it. I have on my keychain is Rocket, which is, I mean, he is a raccoon, but he's actual, person that is living inside this raccoon that was tortured. So it's a whole backstory from Guardians of the Galaxy, FYI. So love Rocket. It's probably one of my favorite characters. So that was hilarious. And then we got some barbecue there in St. Louis, which was fantastic. Whatever it was called. I don't remember shit like that. I think it was like called Papa's or Day Days, Daddies, some shit like that. I don't know. It was right by the college campus. Like literally right by it. That was good. It was really good fucking ribs. It was fantastic. Then I had some like chili fucking fries. And then we got some pork sandwiches and chicken sandwiches, turkey sandwiches to go. And then we drove back home, got home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, played some video games, chilled. And then I think I saw maybe like 1 or 2 clients that Thursday. I think I might have saw like 2 or 3 clients that Friday, some of my more severe suicidal clients. Saturday and Sunday, I don't think I really did much. And then Monday started back to work. So for those of you that want to see some of the trip, it is fantastic. I highly recommend going on to do the parks. If you can drive, if you have friends, it's inexpensive. You get a tent and you can make it work. And it's not that expensive if you go in a tent. The park pass, if you have any disabilities, remember you can get those for free, lifetime. It's just gas, which is expensive, I know. And if you don't want to do them very quickly, that's fine. There's maps and you can figure out everything that you want to do that's moderate, that's easy, that's hard. And you just kind of go out and do it. Get you a cooler for those of you who want to go cheap, and get you some fruit, sandwich meat, yogurts. And it's pretty inexpensive if you do it. As long as you have the space in your car or truck, right? Because you're going to need all the camping gear, or you're going to need someone that has the camping gear and the sleeping bags. Don't forget those. And then you do it. You just go do it. If you're privileged enough to have the money to do it and the time to do it, I would highly recommend to go do it. It's fantastic. Vacations make you think about life process. It helps you unplug because there's no service in the parks. It helps you be with nature, to just be calm. It helps you push your body. You get a good tan. Drink a lot of water. You realize how much food you actually need versus don't need. I think it's a place to realize how small you are in the universe. I think it's a place for, even if you're not religious, to like, how is this all created? Like, this is fantastic. Like, the world is amazing sometimes. The beauty is amazing. Even like in America, it's amazing. I think it's really good to be appreciative and like grateful, like some of the things that you can see and experience. I want to experience things before I die. And it just makes you smile, sitting on top of those mountains, just chilling. Just fucking chilling, being so proud of yourself for moving your body, moving your body and doing it. Doesn't matter how far you go, right? It's always worth it. Like it's always worth it to push your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul to do these things. Highly recommend going on vacations and checking out national parks, state parks too. There's a lot of cool state parks. I know you gotta have comrades to do that too, but you can solo do that shit too. I know people out there doing it solo, right? You can do it, bikes, take your bikes with you. Next year we're going to take fishing rods, and I bought a bunch of other camping gear so we can like cook some actual meals, instead of paying like a shit ton of money for like chicken or steak or whatever we want to do. We can just cook the shit. So I advise that. So then I'll put the photos up so that people can check it out and just be amazed by the things that you can see. They're just there, that exist. I will let you know there's a couple sad points, right? I mean, because like you see the sequoia trees being chopped down. That's pretty fucking sad. But then you see like, I forgot Homeboy that ended up like saving the park and like, making sure that it become a national park. And like, I think it was President Lincoln, he said, that signed it into being a national park. And then they just expanded it and expanded it and expanded it. Fuck, was that Yosemite? No, that was Sequoia. Pretty sure it was Sequoia. Or am I mixing that shit up with Capitol Reef? I think I mixed that with Capital Reef. It was this fucking white dude. But then there was like another person that did this in Sequoia too. I don't know. We go and see those documentaries at the visitor centers. They always got cool movie theaters. Go watch the documentary. They're fantastic. Uh, so yeah, that was vacation, man. It was fantastic. Very tired afterwards and exhausted physically, mentally. I did my best to post some content, but it was hard for me to post the videos because I didn't have access to edit any of the reels. So I'll be posting a lot of me talking in all the reels over the next few weeks. This pod will drop Thursday, July 16th, right? Because it's 12:05 right now. So with that, we're going to do a little pivot into a more serious, triggering conversation. It's hard for me to post some things because I've been so busy and I've been like working with a lot of my clients, and a lot of my babies had a tough time without me, which is fine. And some of them didn't want to exist, which is fine. And so I've been dealing with like that and working with folks and making sure they, want to exist or they have the coping skills, or making sure that I keep things tight. So that's a responsibility, and I love that. That's a privilege to do that. But there was a tragedy that did happen. And I don't know if like therapists really talk about this with other therapists. I feel like some of us have lost clients. This will be a trigger warning for grief and death. And so I've lost a client before, as you guys have known, and that was devastating. Before I left, I sent a message to one of my clients I've been working with since 2024. It was actually, I think, my second client ever in my private practice. And it's a great dude, fantastic young man. And he didn't respond to my message because I think I mixed up the appointments, and I had to push the appointment back. I said, hey man, I think we're supposed to meet this week, but I messed up the thing. Can we meet like in a couple of days? We always meet on Saturdays. And no response. I thought it was weird. It was June 2nd. And I was weird, but I was like, I'm gonna let it slide. Homeboy always texts me right away. I think when I was in Kansas City, I sent him an email and an encrypted message on the platform I use. Like, hey man, just checking in, kind of worried about you. Let me know what's going on, brother. Hope you're okay. Okay. I come back from vacation. It's on my mind because I know something's wrong. He would never ghost me. My clients don't do that. So they come back home, busy, not wanting to send a certain message. Texted the person again, didn't respond. Okay, now I'm worried. I do some Googling, looking for obituaries and things like that. Didn't find anything. Asked my dad about like how he's found people before, or arrest records. Couldn't find anything. Then I decided to call the emergency contact, but I must have dialed it wrong because I got like this is the wrong number vibe, disconnected. So I waited. I gave up. And then I was like, I'm gonna call again after the weekend. I assume maybe something happened, or accident, maybe rehab. I assume it's rehab. It's happened before. And I call the mom instead of the non-emergency number, and I get to talk to the mom. And the young man had passed away. I sucked. And I think emotional about it because obviously I love this young boy. A lot of good jokes, a lot of time, and building him up as a person, as a man. And I haven't really talked or processed any of this shit with anyone yet, and I decided to do it today. And I'll do some work on it a little bit more when I'm not as busy with work, and I can be by myself in the gym or do my normal coping rituals. But with my niece here and other things, I gotta keep it pushing. Not privileged enough to process it fully. So the boy, the things that we worked on, I guess what fucks me up the most is that you see people at like lows of lows, trying to work themselves out of anxiety, depression, horrible shame, and graphic substance abuse. And you see the addiction take hold and what it was in the future, and you see them claw to just be sober. Their way out of like being homeless and doing things and living in a life of like shame and guilt. And you see people fight through all the trauma and shame and self-hatred and issues in which they dealt with. And then you get your hands on them. And then you walk through the diagnoses. And then you talk about autism and how that played into all the things, the substance abuse, the social skills or the ineptitudes, the anxieties, and how that led folks to use more substances. And then you give folks the actual medication, right? Controlled ADHD meds, and then you watch them function. And you watch them breathe life into themselves. Then slowly build confidence, then slowly build the streak of being clean. And then, there are some setbacks. There's always setbacks with my guy, but it is what it is, right? To be an addict. And then to just get back on the horse and to keep it moving, man. And then to trust me, to trust the medication management, to be, on his shit. And to allow me to push him to talk to people, to make more friends, to get involved in the community, to get involved in church, to push him to apply for better positions and better things to do with his life. Push him to give back and help other dudes that are struggling with addiction, other dudes that are struggling with suicidality, and making sure his boundaries are fucking tight and he checks in with me on this shit. And they were. The last session I had with the boy, I looked at him and smiling and shit. We would only meet, once a month now. We were meeting twice a week when we started, twice a week for a long time. And once a week, once a month. But yeah, bumped it down to once every 2 months. And they were just telling me about what they were doing and their hobby and all the gear that they bought for their hobby. How happy they were, how they're starting their own business and working on all this shit. And their hyperfixation has been kicking in for months and it hasn't gone cold. Now they're super excited. Then they got a partner going on it and they were getting ready to help a lot of people out, save a ton of money and not depend on like corporations for like certain things they were doing with his business to help out like people that are working in construction, different trades. And then he was doing really good in his job and he kept continued trusting the mentor that we set up for him. And he just did the stuff. I was so happy. I told him at that last meeting, I got choked up and I cried with him. He didn't cry. He was like, man, shut up, you softy. He's playing with his cats. He just had these 3 fucking cats. Happy as pigs and shit too. There's gorgeous cats. I said, I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy. I'm deeply happy. I'm proud of you. There's no setbacks. You've been doing what you needed to do. This is fucking amazing, my guy. And I'm so fucking happy that you did this. And I said, I can't wait to see what's in front of you in life. And then we joked around and said some sarcastic shit. He said, it could all end. And I know that's the biggest fear for a lot of us. It could all end. You could die tomorrow. He died a week later for that conversation. A tragic death. A painful death. And just a graphic accident. No relapse, nothing like that. No suicide. It isn't fair. It isn't fair. Why do motherfuckers get to live that are horrible for the world? And then you take people like him? Horrible. And mom sent me some stuff, some eulogies and some videos and obituary and shit like that, some photos. I'll look at it this weekend. I can't force myself to look at it right now. It just sucks. That's bullshit. I'm glad that it wasn't the other things, but I can't believe it's this thing. And just when you start to do good. You live this shit life. from the ways in which he perceived himself and things, right, in the world, things that have happened. I can't mention any of that shit. And then you do things to make it better. And there was so much in front of you. And then just to be taken. Wild. Wild. And then you try to do your job, be a therapist, right? That's all I can think about. Don't get it twisted. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'm always fine. But it's fucking sad, bro. You just see people smile. He was a young man that said, he's a good looking boy. And I told him, he was the one I said, yeah, man, you look good. You look good. I just had made a joke about it and posted on Instagram. I said, you look really good, man. You look awesome. I love your haircut. He said, stop flirting with me, you queer. And he was very queer positive, dude. It was funny as shit. Well, we were just getting ready to start actually trying to date and find a partner. Finally ready for it now that we were stable. That was the next session to figure out life. Everything was falling into place. Now it was to, work the social skills and the confidence. And now that the shame's gone, right? Now that we can, human. How are we going to do this? We were ready. This was it. We were supposed to meet in June. Well, did make it to June. That shit sucks, bro. So I got a lot of clients going through a lot of grief all the time. Moms dying, families dying, uncles dying, grandpas dying, horrible accidents, strokes, all types of shit, natural disasters, fires, this and that. It's horrible, horrible. People going through grief, and there's nothing you can do or say about it. You just sit in it. I was talking to one of the girlies, and I said, "Now, what do you wish someone would tell you when you're going through grief?" She said, "I hate when people ask me how you doing." She said, "I hate when people tell me I'm so sorry for your loss." Like, bitch, you had nothing to do with it. What you sorry for? But you don't know what to say. You're just sorry for them. You're sympathetic for them. So that's what you say. That shit sucks. We're all going to go through grief. You would think that, as you go throughout your life, you only have to deal with the grief for the losses in your life. But I have to experience the losses and grief of like all of my kiddos' lives. Whether they be 50-year-olds that I work with, they're still kiddos to me. Or whether they're 15. It's tough to watch them cry, be angry or miserable, confused, frustrated. It's hard for me to lock the fuck in when I am those things. There's a scene I'm going to show from the movie Southpaw where you see Forrest Whitaker, talk about him losing one of his students. That's a very emotional scene that's always stuck out in my head. I love Forrest Whitaker. I feel like I look and act like the dude in a lot of his roles. Why? Why did the thing that happened happen? It doesn't make sense. This is the thing that me and him agreed to do too. All these cool things. Because it made him happy. He passed away doing what he loved. Sad. And then you gotta go back to work when you're dealing with grief. Then you gotta go back to reality. Then you gotta act like you're fine. I'm not saying I'm acting like I'm fine. I'll be alright. But there's no getting around it. Ain't fair. No getting around that. the hatred for like the cosmos, the universe, the God. I'm happy that I told him how much I loved him as a boy, as a young man. How proud I was. That's awesome. Man, I got certain images in my head that I was told by the family. And that sucks to be in my mind. That sucks. So I want to talk about this because this is the shit I go through. This is shit a lot of therapists go through. Teachers, healthcare workers. And we're privileged to hear people's stories and honored, right? I love my fucking job. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And in that, I know I will lose more people. I guess that's what I signed up for. Didn't know that until 2 years ago. That's what I signed up for. Almost lost a couple more too during vacation. That's just part of the job. If you love anything, your heart will be destroyed. It will be devastated. Love your clients enough, you'll be devastated. And you'll also feel triumphant in their wins. Got to see a lot of graduation pictures of kids past few days. A lot of engagements that are happening. I told one of the girls, I said, I put 5 years in there, kid. I'm fucking framing this shit. She said, you can do whatever you want with that photo. I said, I'm putting this shit on the wall. Fuck that. Going on a wall of success. I did one right. I got one to the end. It was awesome to see these graduation pictures, man. My girls were looking gorgeous. And I'm just so happy about their futures. And my boys look awesome and they're doing good. And I'm excited to see some of them grow and get jobs and get out of the fucking depression of what it is to be in school. Undergrad, master's, PhD, all of it. To go make some money. To not be dependent on parents or anyone. To go live. To go buy shit. To go experience things. To afford the good foods that they want. The toys that they want. I'm excited. So it's been a great week for a lot of those things. Getting a lot of wins from a lot of my favorite humans. A lot of wins. A lot of happiness. A lot of joy. I am fulfilled. I'm doing 5 group therapies starting September. Fulfilled. Doing the graduate group in person. The neurodivergent women's group in person. I'm doing another neurodivergent women's group online. I'm doing a neurodivergent men's group online. And I'm currently running the women of color. It's pretty much a black women's group, a black neurodivergent women's group online now. Fulfilled. I'm currently moving towards everything I've ever wanted with opening up a community center. And the dream is almost in my grasp. My niece will go to Purdue University. God willing, she doesn't get injured or hurt, or she'll graduate with her associates and her high school diploma in 2 years. And then she'll go to Purdue and she'll become an engineer and she'll be safe with me and be happy and fed with me, my father, my brother. Can't save everyone, but I'm going to save a lot. I'm going to save a lot. Yep. I know some of the homies are going to listen to this pod. Don't fucking text me. I know you're going to text me, you soft fuckers. Don't fucking text me. I talked to my dad about this shit in a couple days. He knows that I want to talk. Got shit to do. Money to make. People to help. So you dissociate with video games, TV shows. You adapt and restrict. You survive. Because you surviving means other people live. And then you feel and process the things when you get to it. So I'm doing some of that shit now. I'll be a lot better tomorrow. I needed to get this out. So I want you all to go experience the world and do what you want to do. Fight the battles. Don't be a coward. Talk and say what you need to do. Because if not now, when? Another Martin Luther King quote. We're not going back. We're going moving forward. Don't look back. No point. Life is short. Ask for the fuck what you want. Take what you want. Advocate for yourself. Believe and have faith in yourself, or no one will. Go do the hobby. Buy the toy. Do the trip. Ask the person out. Don't sit in the isolation and sadness. The loneliness. Don't sit in the self-hatred. Don't allow people to tell you who you are. Don't allow people to have their foot on your neck. Stand up straight. Because no one can ride or step on you, on your back, if your back is straight. Another Martin Luther King quote. Go see as much as you can before your eyes close. And if you're going to go out, you're going to go out doing what you fucking love, riding high in the sky like my boy. Wish I could have went to the funeral. I didn't know. I didn't know. Parents couldn't get into the phone. I didn't know. Do what y'all need to do to take care of yourselves. Don't be no punk. Go see some shit. Go do some shit. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You can't just sit in your fucking room and rot. Those friends that you want, they not gonna just come in your room, bro. You gotta go get them. And if they are just randomly in your room, fucking run. Or you need to stop the drugs and you need some antipsychotics. You gotta go get this shit, my guy. Nothing will be handed to you. And matter of fact, the world will try its best to take everything from you. Capitalism, the infrastructure will try to take everything from you. Go get it. At the end of the day, no one gives a fuck about your tears. Go get it. Some of us will care about your tears. You still gotta go get it, though. You still gotta go hustle. Because then the tears are worth nothing. Everything you've ever needed is already inside of you. Everything. To live the life and world that you want, you need a lot of fucking luck. But that hard work will get you there. But we need some luck. But without you even trying and accepting failure, or without you even trying to find the safety and content, the humans, the people, the objects, the books, whatever it is, find it. Or die trying. I would rather you die trying. I will die trying to get my goals, as I told someone today. You're going to have to kill me. Aren't you afraid of failure, going broke? I failed at so many things. My life was already forfeited a long time ago. At this point, what scares me? Not much. Not much. Go do what you got to do. Be happy like my boy. Fall with a fucking bang. Turn your fucking life around. Find some people that actually love you and care for you. That help you turn your life around. That are affirming and trauma informed. And continue to listen to my dumbass if you want to. I think the next pod will be sad too, but after that, I think they'll be pretty good. All right, we're about to transition. How long has this been recording? Holy shit, this is an hour. I'm so sorry. I think we got Spider Noir coming up. We got Southpaw coming up. Give me 1 second. We've got the movie Frankenstein coming up with Oscar Isaac. That shit was depressing as fuck. Migration coming up. The movie Transformers 1 coming up. So the origins of Optimus Prime. Crazy good animated film. Here's a note that says, look into making California vinegar, aka cayenne pepper and vinegar. Shit was crazy good. I think I want to do a touch on the TV series on Netflix called Four Seasons. There was something in there. There was Shrinking that I wanted to do. And then there's a bunch of other things that I need to get to. So we saw a lot of things on vacation that I will be making content out of. I think I got about 5 or 6 weeks of things. Also, Stranger Things. I want to do Stranger Things, so I got to watch it as well too. Whether you guys hate it or not, I know you guys hated it. I liked it. I tend to enjoy things. I'm not a miserable fuck. Yeah, so I got about 5 or 6 things I'm going to shoot over the next week, and then I'll have that pumped out and ready to go. Oh, there was also Good Omens. I finally got to watch the movie-ish version of the finale of the Good Omens. So I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about I forgot his name. David Tennant has a conversation with God about why did you give me someone good? Oh, fuck me, man. Why did you give me this person and then take them away? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Yeah. So we got some bangers that we're gonna do, and then there's a bunch of other shit that I need to do for my house. So I'm excited to shoot those. Probably shoot the pod like tomorrow, Friday, and I'll release this obviously the 16th, and then I'll release one on Saturday to get back on track, to have some fun with some movies and clips. We got some guests coming up. I think in probably end of August. They'll be on the books like soon, and then we'll start shooting with some guests, doing some interviews, and like going back to the roots of like cool scenes, getting to know a lot of the returners that we had, and vibing. So continue to vibe with me. Thank you for the support and the love. I'm sure many of you are going to message me after this. You do not have to. I am fine. But thank you for your love. I already know you're going to send it because I know how much you care for me, my followers, my listeners, my clients, my friends, my colleagues that listen to this pod, and thousands of people. Appreciate all of you. Go check out the parks. If you need any help with like letters and all that stuff, hit up your therapist, doctors. I'm excited to do some pods coming up, and get back to homeostasis in my life, in my work, in my practice, and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep experiencing the world before I can't. So much love, much appreciation to all of you. Remember, those of you that are looking for therapists, go look at the link tree that I have. It has a recommendation list of like a ton of therapists around the United States and Canada. There's some psychopharmacologists, so right, medication practitioners that are on there as well too, medical doctors. If you're looking for meds, if you're looking for books, anything like that, worksheets, all those type of things, there's so much stuff in there that my link tree that is free. I believe in giving things away for free. A lot of people are going to hustle and steal money from you. Just take the shit as you want. You can copy the entire drive. I don't care. There's tons of things. Worksheets, coloring books, everything. Things that help you with diagnosis. There's apps. Just check it out. Much appreciation for all of you. And take care of yourselves. I'll do my best to. I hope you will too. Peace.